Hello, my name is Laura Worley, and I'm a Fast EFT Advanced Practitioner. Today I wanted to speak to the mothers. I've been impressed for a little bit to talk to moms. There's probably several reasons for that. One, because of my own guilt. Number two, because I have several clients who are women who have a lot of guilt they carry as a mom. And thirdly, it seems everywhere I go, somebody is talking to me about it, whether they're my client or not. So I am taking the message to share a few things that I hope will help. As moms, I think sometimes we somehow just have this line to guilt. We're worried for our children. We think every mistake they make is our fault. Everything they do, if it's bad, it's because we were a terrible parent. And we can rack ourselves with guilt like I did as a mom who could not protect her children from being harmed. So many years ago, I was about 30, and I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, I started to go to therapy, started to remember all this traumatic things that took place in my own life. About that time, all of my kids were very small. I have 5 daughters. And what happened is over the course of the next 20 years, I continued to go to therapy, and because of my own fear, because of my own guilt, my own everything, I put that on my children. I had them go to therapy for the rest of their growing up years. My guilt seemed to increase the more I began to find out about my own life, which means remembering suppressed memories. Then I also started to find out, because of my children going to therapy, some things that had happened to them. So let's fast forward. It's been about 20 years. We've spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars in therapy. We all have a lot of pain. The last year when I finally said this is enough is I went to a specialist. All of us, our whole family did. Spent about $100,000 in 1 year. And what really happened was, I believe that, yes, it was helpful, but in some ways it was very traumatizing to my younger children. So here we are. It's 20 years later. My husband and I have spent so much money in therapy, and we are going to have to close our businesses. And I do believe that the $100,000 for that specialist contributed, not the whole reason, but that we had 3 businesses in San Diego and we had to close them. So I'm feeling pretty down about this time and feeling guilty as heck, tormented with, all of this information and nowhere to go with it. I said a prayer and I said, God, please, there's got to be something that will actually help somebody, that can actually heal their pain. And because inside of me was this gnawing knowledge, feeling, whatever you want to call it, that there's something more that can get rid of the pain. This just can't be the way it's supposed to be. Like, be traumatized your whole life and then spend the rest of it going to therapy to clean it up. So a week later I found EFT. And I started tapping and I started, healing, like getting rid of some of these feelings about my children, about our family, our life. And then probably 3 years later, I found Fast EFT. And I have to say that when I found Fast EFT and started doing mega sessions on myself, that is when my life really began to change. And I want to tell you, moms, what happened to me, okay? Because I feel like if you have had children that have been harmed, and I mean, have been abused in some way that you've not been able to protect your children. And that could be, anywhere from the bullies at school to, family members, whoever it could possibly be. But nonetheless, as moms, we take it all on. We feel guilty. We feel ashamed. We beat ourselves up. And I am probably one of the worst ones that beat myself up. And as I started to clean up my issues of my own and working on different things of my past, what I noticed was I started to change. I stopped being so guilt-ridden, so tormented, so feeling so horrible about everything my children does is my fault if they, do something that is bad, or, or they're having problems in their life. It's my fault, And the thing is as this began to clear up, I was noticing that my relationships with my children were getting so much better, including with my husband. I mean, things were just totally changing. And I want to give you an example. I had a conversation with my daughter one of my daughters about a month ago, and she's like, "Mom, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." And she's like, "This is how I feel. This is what I would like to happen in the future. This is, some of the things that happened in my childhood I don't like, and blah, blah, blah." And I shouldn't say blah, 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 because that's not what I want to say, but she continued to go on with the conversation. Now, if she would have said this to me a couple years ago, or even a year ago probably, I would have felt guilty. I would have beat myself up for days and days. I would have felt so horrible. And you know what the thing is that did not happen this time. I was able to hold the space for her. I listened to her. I agreed with her, and was able to validate every single thing she said without guilt, without defense. And what ended up happening, it was an amazing conversation. It was an amazing result. And I think that, after we both were done talking, I feel she trusted me more in able to share her feelings, that it's okay to have whatever she has, that it's okay for me to listen, and I don't have to be defensive, because, I've spent my whole life with my children, saying how sorry I was, and, all this guilt I think I taught them in a way that I don't want them to grow up and be moms. I want them to grow up and feel good about themselves and help their children to feel good about themselves. And, no matter what, moms out there, women, we are going to make mistakes with our children. That's just life. And they are going to have some problems because of us. That's just life as well. But the thing is if you teach your children to feel good about yourself, to be able to hold a space for them when they need to talk to you, you can hear them without judgment and beating yourself up, and passing down that fear, your own fears, your own guilt of every, thing in your past, or what you're feeling, you're not a good parent. That, you know what? The bottom line is that we all do the best we can, and sometimes maybe that doesn't look that fantastic. But you know what? If we don't know how to do it, we don't know how to do it. And if were raised in a family like myself who had absolutely zero examples, then you're going to have to find some examples. You may have to you may have to take classes on how to be a parent. You may have to learn all that you can to be a good mom. But I will tell you, the greatest healing, the greatest gift you will ever give your children is if you go tap and use Fast EFT and release these emotions that keep us stuck, fearful, hurt, and guilty. Now, Fast EFT is a tool you can use on yourself whenever this stuff comes up. But also, I highly recommend a practitioner, because they can also help guide you on the outside. And kind of when we get in our stuff, it's hard to know, where to go. And maybe this pain and hurt has been sent down from generations to generations. And in my case, that was certainly the case. Now, I can't tell you I'm 100% at this point, but I will tell you the gift that I have found through Fast EFT, and tapping. Is I would say I'm about 90%, I'm not 100, but I'm about 90% at the place where I am forgiving myself. I'm forgiving myself for all the mistakes I made, for all the hurt I've caused my own children, for the, I wished I would have done better. And yes, I can say all day, I wished, but the case is, my children are grown now. And so all I can give them is my best me. And what I'm finding is when I'm working on myself and healing myself, it is making our relationships fantastic. Like my daughters, there's a couple that are tapping, and my husband taps once in a while. But that's not what changed our family. What changed our family was myself. The gift of being able to forgive yourself and to love yourself is something that honestly I didn't think I would ever find, because about 8 years ago, whatever that was, I was at a point where I just felt like, is this all there is? Is this all there is to go through hell and then deal with hell and then never get any real healing? And so I'm really, really grateful that I was able to find this. And as a mom, I just want to share that we as women can support each other. We can help each other get through some of the tough times as a mom, because we all have them. Some are young, some are, old, some are, their children are gone. And whatever your case may be as a mom, a woman came to me, she was talking to me yesterday, and she wasn't a client. She was just guilt-ridden. She's probably 65, and her children are grown. She's got grandchildren. And she was just so guilt-ridden of, her mistakes she had made as a mom. She just didn't know how. She's telling me all these things, and she doesn't know anything about Fastery of Tea. And I can't tell you how many women I meet who say that. Like, their kids are in trouble. I was a terrible mom. If I wouldn't have been so angry, if I wouldn't have been so hurt, whatever your case may be. But I want to share also with you as a woman, and believe me, the words on my mouth that I'm about ready to speak is going to be hard to believe for myself. But because I have been working super hard on myself, and I've been able to get rid of a lot of things, not everything, but I am beginning to get in touch with my femininity, my womanhood, and liking how it feels to feel like a woman. And I think as mothers, if we have daughters, that's such an amazing gift to pass down to them, is how to respect ourselves as a woman and who we truly are, which is, divinely given as a woman with so many gifts and things to share. And so I hope that this video will give you the inspiration, no matter what place in life you are, no matter how old you are, just know that it is never too late to do something to help your family. And if you want to start with something, because you can't control your family, you can't make them do anything, but what you can do is you can start taking control of your own life. Control your own life and begin to heal you. And when you do, the miracles of your family will blow you away. And I am speaking personally for myself. The miracles that I have witnessed, and I don't need to get into everything because that's private. And there's some things that our family that need to be private in the family. But the miracles I have seen, there's been some very hard things our family has had to overcome. And I'm so grateful that God would give all of us a gift to heal ourselves, and to not only heal ourselves, but to give this gift to the world, that we don't all have to suffer and be in pain, and that we can have something that is amazing in our life, that we have right here, our little fingers. Whenever we need them, we can tap. I release and let this go. It's okay to let it go. I'm safe now. I can let it go. I release and let this all go. Deep breath in. Peace. Peace.